Quality management. We'll be going through the new topic, that is principles and philosophies of quality management. All of you have gone through the production and the operations management and the thoughts, the philosophies which were given by different management gurus. You have gone through the part of traditional management, scientific management, and the kind of differences we could see when we moved from traditional to scientific management. When the era of scientific management ended, not exactly ended, but while in the continuation of scientific management era, we moved further, and while having a development in the science, technology, having new innovations day to day, we started focusing on quality apart from just producing and selling out the product. So in case of productions and operations management, we had different philosophies being given by Elton Mayo, F.W. Taylor, Henry Fayol, where all of them gave different kind of thinking, different kind of lookout at the scientific era, and they told like how the human behavior can affect the working ability of an organization, how the change in scientific era can affect the working of a production organization. So similarly, we have got management gurus in case of quality management. So you can see on your screen that within this topic, like principles and philosophies of quality management, we'll be covering about the contributions of quality gurus like Edwards Deming, who's a very famous American scientist, and the contribution from Joseph M. Juran, contribution from Koro Ishikawa, then contribution from Jenichi Taguchi. So all of these four are the like famous quality gurus, and they have given their own thought, like how the quality management should be there, or how the philosophy should be implemented in an organization, so that we can proceed further towards the concept of total quality management. And apart from this, within this module, we'll also be covering the concept of JIT, that is just in time, and the concept of quality circle. So, moving forward with the contribution of quality gurus, we'll start today in this lecture with the contribution given by Edwards Deming. So, as soon as your scientific era started, earlier in the traditional management, the only purpose which this traditional management had was to get the raw material from some of the other place, and then just manufacture, have a proper production, and sell it out in the market. There were no fixed targets, there was no much of science, there no much of tools involved, no much of machinery being involved, no thought given to the human philosophy what is going on. When the scientific era came, the thought process entirely changed. We started focusing on new machinery, new equipments. We started focusing on the human psychology, human behavior, how the behavior of human being can affect the working of an organization, the production, the effectiveness, the output within an organization. And there was another concept given where the entire organization was being divided in different parts, different categories, different departments. So there were different administrative aspects which you had learned in scientific era of management. Now here the Edward Deming, he gave his own philosophy. Edward Deming is an he was an American quality expert, and he became a philosophical guru in Japan, because he preached the philosophical basis of quality and productivity, which were accepted, absorbed mostly by the Japanese. And his big contribution was about the Japanese industrial cycle, where the quality cycle actually, where he introduced the concept of plan, do, check, act cycle of many decades ago. And the Japanese very happily accepted that, because they felt like this PDCA, plan, do, check, act cycle, was being an important part of all the organizations within Japan. This is the picture of PDCA cycle. We'll cover this thing in next few minutes, but before that I'd like to go through what are the major philosophical points which are being given by the Edward Deming. You can see these different 14 points on your screen. All these points contribute were the contribution given by Edward Deming. The first is that create a constancy of purpose for improving the products and services. Second is adopt the new philosophy. Third is cease dependence on inspection to achieve the quality. Fourth is end the practice of awarding business on price alone. Fifth is improve constantly and forever every process for planning, production, and service. Sixth is institution training on the job. Seventh is adopt the institution leadership. Eighth is drive out fear. Ninth is break down barriers between staff areas. 10th is eliminate slogans, exhortations, and targets for the workforce. 11th is eliminate numerical quotas for the workforce and numerical goals for the management. 12th is remove barriers that rob people of pride or workmanship. 13th is institute a vigorous program of education and self-improvement for everyone. And the last one is put everybody in the company to work accomplishing the transformation. Starting from the first point, what he wants to say is that he actually wanted to say about to create and publish the aims and purpose of the organization, like to have a clarity, like what are the goals, what are the targets, what are the aims, maybe what are the long term goals, short term goals of organization, what kind of particular product alignment they are having, and which sector they need to work, and whether they are going to jump into any other area, any other sector, any other different kind of products depending on their capacity. So it is mostly confined to the what kind of products we are going to manufacture, which kind of sector we are going to work, what will be our vision mission, what will be our short term goals and long term goals. So having focus on that, create a constancy of purpose for improving products and services. So once your sector is being decided, once your long term short term goals are decided, once your vision mission is decided, start working on improvement of products and services. Second is adopting the new philosophy. Adopting the new philosophy is that you already have a product going on with you. The organization is already to manufacturability of some of the other product or providing some of the other services, but on an innovation base, they should keep on making improvements in the existing products, or they should come up with modifications in the existing product, and may these existing products, old products, may be launched as a new product in form of a new format. So finally you are introducing a new philosophy in the market depending on the customer's requirement. Third point was like cease dependence on inspection to achieve quality. So they say that like there has to be a testing phase, there has to be inspection phase, so that you come to know like what is the quality level, what is the quality check of your products. You should not have a blind faith that our organization is working very well. If you are manufacturing 100 products within every hour, that does not mean that like 95% of the products are doing very good. There might be quality faults, there might be any kind of issues with the products. So there has to be a sort of inspection, and like there should be no 100% dependence on inspection, but that should be a habit that whenever the production is going on, so automatically whatever the products we get, whatever the output we get, that should have a certain level of quality. Your fourth point says that end the practice of awarding business on price alone. So it's very simple, and it's very good to say that if the price of the product is huge, if the price of the product is more, that does not means the product is a quality oriented product, is that does not means it's much reliable or durable. So it says that we need to end the practice of awarding business on price alone. That does not mean if you are selling high quality, high cost products, so we are making a good business, or we are selling a quality oriented products. There can be cheap products which may be of very good quality. There may be like average costing products which may be of very good quality. So like quality has got actually nothing to do with the pricing part. Then comes improve constantly and forever every process for planning, production, and service. Yes, of course. So this like planning, production control, or planning, production, service. If this entire process, step by step, is getting an improvement on day-to-day basis in an organization, automatically there'll be an improvement in the entire quality of the products or the services which an organization is providing. So ultimately, the Deming has insisted to make the improvements in each and every step which is being followed within organization, starting from planning, production to control services and each and everything. Then sixth point says that there needs to be an institution training on the job. So there has to be a learning process for the employees, for the workers, for the skilled labor, for each and everyone who is there in an organization from top level to bottom level. Because if they keep on getting trained, if they keep on learning, then definitely they'll keep on growing. So there has to be an institution training on the job. There has to be a learning process throughout the timing the employee is there in an organization. Then comes adopt an institution leadership. So adopt an institute leadership, like an employee should not work out as an employee, so he has to himself be a leader for himself. He has to monitor himself. He has to check like what will be the quality of products which he'll be manufacturing. So he has to be a leader in himself. He needs to keep a check of the work that is being done by himself. So his if his monitoring on himself is good, automatically the like all the employees who are being concerned about themselves, they'll build up a better organization, or their self leadership will bring out a better organization. Then comes like the next topic is drive out the fear. Drive out fear actually means to create a trust and create a climate for innovation. So you should not be hesitating to check like whether the new product or the new innovations will pass or fail, or whether it will be successful or not, whether it is going to end up in a failure. You should keep on trying, using any of the concepts, using the concepts of reverse engineering, using the concepts of concurrent engineering, robust designing, modular designing, standardization. So need to drive out the fears which you are having in manufacturing, in production of new products, introducing new things in the market. The ninth point is break down barriers between all staff areas. This is something which we see in the current organization nowadays. As if I call you people as a mechanical engineer, it does not means like you are bound to work in a mechanical industry. Nowadays, like a computer science engineer, a mechanical engineer, electrical electronics engineer, they are open to work in any kind of era. Like you should be open to work in anything which is related to mechatronics. Now mechatronics is something which includes part of mechanical, electrical, electronics. So now we are breaking the barriers between the staff, we are breaking the barriers between the departments. Everything nowadays on an engineering level is a hybrid era. So you need to be build yourself, your knowledge in terms of a hybrid thing, so that you can work out in all kind of areas. So a employee, a worker, and should not be confined to a particular department or particular area. So he should learn to break down the barriers and go beyond the department and learn whatever he can do and get the best of learning, get the best of production. The 10th point is eliminate the slogans, exhortations, and targets for the workforce. Again, it's a very simple point. If you're binding out the workforce and giving them a target, maybe on daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, they will be deviated from giving the actual production. They will be deviated from focusing on the quality. So it simply says that eliminate slogans. Need not to have slogans, need not to have target for the workforce. So let them free, let them be innovative, let them be creative, and do the best they can. 11th point is eliminate numerical quotas for the workforce and numerical goals for the management. Again, this is something like binding the workforce as well as binding the management with the target oriented goals. So this thing may or may not be practical or feasible, maybe in current scenario, but as per Deming, his philosophy says that if you are going to bind the employees with a certain targets with the for the workforce, and as well as the management with certain goals, certain targets to be achieved, so of course your business may or may not be affected, but the quality of products which will be getting, or the quality level on which the organization will be working, will be much better than what it will be in terms of achieving targets. Next point is removing the barriers that draw people of pride of workmanship. Again, we are putting a barriers to the people, like a person might be interested to come up late in the afternoon, and he may like to leave late in the evening or night. So like we are again putting a barrier that you are confined to a 9 to 5 job, 9 to 6 job. That means a person is bound to work within certain barriers. So again, Deming says that there should be no barriers, there should be no constraints, which makes person, which deprives him of what he can do, the kind of potential he has. The third next point is institute a vigorous program of education and self improvement for everyone. This is somewhat again related to point number 7. Like you need to have education, self learning, self improvement, and a sort of training for each and everyone in an organization. Last point is put everyone in the company to work accomplishing the transformation. Yes, and this is something like we need to make improvements in each and every day progress, each and every day process. Each and every step has to be monitored, each and every step has to be done with so much of sacrosancy that uh, that means that each and every employee who's whatever work he has been doing, that he should come up with the best whatever he's having. So that kind of feeling, that kind of leadership within oneself, that kind of the professionalism will definitely bring a organization to the for achieving the TQM goals. So that is this is the kind of philosophy that has been philosophical points that have been shared by Edward Deming. uh, Few of the points may or may not be seem to be feasible or practical for you looking at the current scenario of industry, but these are the concepts which are being given by him. So we just need to have a look on these points, and even in the industries keep on following these points. Now it depends on them, it depends on the industry whether they are going to absorb all the 14 points or they're going to leave it. And one more last point that has to be covered by Edward Demings, which I told you earlier, is that the Deming gave the next PDCA cycle, which was very well accepted by the Japanese. And this PDCA cycle actually works in such a way that it says to plan, do, check, and last act. So you can see that this plan, it's been written there like plan ahead for change. analyze and predict the results. Do execute the plan, taking small steps in controlled circumstances. Check, then study the results and act. Take action to standardize or improve the process. So plan is just like you are already into a certain process. Just need to see what kind of changes are to be done. Just analyze the changes, plan for it, and next do is just to implement it. Try to implement whatever the thoughts you have, whatever the innovation is there in your mind. Check what kind of results you are getting and act according to that. What kind of what kind of changes are yet to be done, whether the process which I was willing to implement was feasible or not, was technically feasible or not, was good for this kind of project or not. Maybe it may have certain kind of impact, maybe financial impact, maybe like an impact from engineering point of view. So all these impacts will be taken into consideration, and finally act, which says that your actions will change according to that. So it's a simple cycle, like plan, do, check, act. Keep on doing, just do, plan, think of it, do it, assess it whether it was right, wrong, or it was a just a mere decision, and according to that you can change your action of whatever you're doing. So this is simply the PDCA cycle given by Deming, very successfully accepted by many of the Japanese companies. So that's all for today. You will just see the summary of what we had done. Within this topic, we have completed contribution of Edward Deming with his 14 philosophical points, and the Deming cycle, PDCA cycle. So that's all for today. Thank you. Stay tuned. I would like you all to come up and post few questions on this topic in the YouTube box. Thank you. Have a great day.